Hi guys, Partly Pinky back again, and today we're going to be doing another character analysis video, my favorite type of genre. But it's not just me here, I'm also joined with my good friend Petal.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. I love your channel. I mostly do reviews and episode analyses, also like character analyses, memes, PMVs, all sorts of content.
All sorts of great content. So make sure you go check out Peace's channel after this video, because this is not just a standalone video. We're also covering another great G3 character over there, Minty. So make sure you don't forget to check out both videos to get the full experience. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about my favorite character of all of G3, Princess Rarity. There are a couple of reasons I love this character so much, but I have a little list here, so let's go ahead and start talking about the points on the list that I made. So, Peace, what do you think about Rarity's visual design?
She is about as G3 as they get. Pink coat, rainbow hair, heart cutie mark. It's a pretty iconic look. One interesting thing is the length of her horn in the animation. It definitely starts out really short and stubby and cute. There's a few scenes, I think, where it gets longer, and I'm not sure how consistent that is, but ultimately that's a minor thing. She's cute either way.
Yeah, the horn size inconsistency is definitely a thing only unique to Rarity. I just love how bright and pink and sparkly she is. It's almost like they tried to design a character that was the epitome of My Little Pony. She's definitely the most rainbow out of the unicorns who make up the rainbows, and I think she stands out of all four of them.
She really fits her role, right, as the pink princess who is going to bring the first rainbow. Because apparently the crystal princess is always pink. She's pink, and she even has rainbow hair, so she definitely fits her role.
So next, let's talk about her voice actress, Kathy Westluck, who's also known for doing Spike in G4.
Well, Kathy is a wonderful voice actor. She has a very distinct voice. You can hear when it's her in any character she voices. And I think Rarity is my favorite role she has. She really makes Rarity sound like a kid, and she's just so excited all the time, and she makes Rarity sound like she has ADHD. I believe deep in my heart that Rarity has ADHD.
Oh, I totally agree on the ADHD aspect. She has zero attention span, just like me. Also, if there are any LPS fans watching, Kathy does the voice of a character named Buttercream Sundae from the 2012 show. And I just bring this up because basically her voice is just Rarity cranked up to 11.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Kathy is really able to bring out the sort of childlike wonder that G3 Rarity has. Like you said, always very excitable. And it's not just cute when she's excited. When she's bored, you can also hear it in her voice. And I think that's just as charming. It really shows that the gears are always spinning in her head. She definitely has ADHD. Next up, a lot of people would say that the songs Rarity sings are definitely some of the most iconic in the entirety of G3. Standouts being Wish You Were Here. I know a lot of people like Get the Giggles. It's definitely one of my favorites too. She just has the catchiest songs, it seems. How do you feel about that?
I 100% agree with that. Definitely Kathy Wesseluk is an excellent singer. We hear only like I think two songs from Spike and G4, and it's absolutely criminal that her character didn't get to sing more because she is fantastic at singing. It's not just her singing. These songs are just some of the best songs in G3. I don't know why Rarity gets all the best songs, but she 100% does. I mean, on top of the two you mentioned, she gets like Far Apart. Basically, every song in Runaway Rainbow is top tier. Wish You Were Here is such a bop. I mean, that Barry sax did not have to go as hard as it does, but it does. Every song Rarity gets is so memorable.
Oh man, yeah, Far Apart especially. That is just such a nice, somber, but like moving song. The song that Rarity sings beforehand is so full of energy. And so it really hits you that Far Apart is this mellow tune that really drives home the emotion that she's feeling. And speaking of such a movie, That's what I want to talk about next. Her role slash development in The Runaway Rainbow. How do you feel about her character? Do you think she learned and grew after the events of the story?
Yes, I definitely think she did. I talked about this pretty extensively in my Runaway Rainbow review. That's a video that exists. Her character arc is the central conflict of this episode. It's because of her carelessness and her irresponsibility that the whole conflict is present. She whisked herself away with the magic wand and didn't know how to get back, and they all needed her back to start that rainbow. And she spends the entire episode placing the blame everywhere except on herself. It's literally like one of her catchphrases.
Well, you know that wasn't my fault, right?
She says that so many times, only to finally realize, oh, wait, it is my fault. That growth is what provides the solution to the problem. Her taking responsibility and acknowledging her own mistake and not blaming Cheerily, who wanted to blame herself. Yes, absolutely pivotal to this episode. What else was I going to say? There was another point I was going to bring up. Dang it. Well, I can't think of it. What do you think about Rarity and Runaway Rainbow?
Honestly, I would argue that she goes through the most stark change that I think any other character in G3 goes through because it's explicitly shown to us, not just through dialogue, but also in her design changing, her horn growing bigger. And I love her dynamic with Cheerily, especially near the end of the movie, because the whole movie, she has everybody's best interest in mind. And so that leaves her to worry and blame herself, even when Rarity gets lost. You can tell that in the back of her mind, she thinks, this is all because I wasn't a good enough teacher. Like you said, it directly contrasts with Rarity's temptation to blame all of her problems on everyone else and just steer clear of responsibility.
Oh, that was it. That was what I was trying to think of at the end when Cheerily is blaming herself and wants to give up. Rarity is the one whose endless optimism never runs out, and she insists that they try again, and she assures Cheerily, no, it's not your fault. And that positivity is what won the day, what gave them the courage to try one more time and to get that rainbow.
Yes. Oh, she's such an endless well of positivity. Definitely one of the characters that inspires me to be positive in my life. There's such a thick line between responsibility and childlike wonder, and she scribbles all over that line. She's just a fun character. The last point I have here is I want to talk about Rarity's future. Does she still retain what she learned in future appearances she's made? Namely in Come Back Lily Lightly and the live show, I believe, is when she appears next.
As well as Greetings from Unicornia.
That's right.
I would say, yes, she is markedly different in those episodes. She never causes the same level of chaos that she had in Runaway Rainbow, and we never once again hear her say what was originally looking like it might shape up to be her catchphrase, it's not my fault. She stops shifting the blame away from herself. I especially really love seeing her with Cheerily after both of them have grown. Like, get the giggles and their ability to share a good laugh and be friends. I live for that stuff. Like, it's the fuel that keeps me going through a week.
It's like they both learned from each other. Like, Rarity learned how to be responsible from Cheerily, while Cheerily learned that it's okay to have fun and be a little laid back sometimes. I also want to bring up this very important point from her appearance in the live show. Rarity, much like all the other ponies, is tasked with something that will help them prepare for the world's biggest tea party. She has to gather streamers. And when all of the ponies are singing about what they're going to do, Rarity doesn't sing in that number, but she is present. And you can see her kind of wandering off, walking around, and not really participating in all of the volunteering because she just wants to have fun. Later on, Pinky confronts her about this. And Rarity still is kind of like, yeah, well, I don't really want to do that, and kind of puts it off a little bit. Eventually, all the ponies kind of sing a little song to remind her that helping others is fun. And so that's enough for Rarity to be like, you know what? Yeah, I will participate. I will do this. Some could look at that and say like, well, that's backtracking on her character. She's going back to how she was before the end of Runaway Rainbow. But I think that this is a good point that really humanizes Rarity because people aren't perfect. Sometimes old habits die hard.
A lot of characters, or a lot of people in real life, learn a lesson and then kind of relapse. You don't see people instantly change who they are.
We see this with Rarity before she kind of snaps back to being like, you know what? Yeah, I can't. Yeah, this will be helpful, and I will give it my all, and I will do my responsibility. It doesn't really set her back. It just kind of reminds you that she learned her lesson. And so that's okay. As long as you can forgive yourself for making a mistake and get back up there, then that's bounce back ability.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Hmm.
I have mixed feelings on Rarity's live show appearance. That's why I started by talking about the episodes instead, because I really think when post Runaway Rainbow, we see a lot of good in Rarity. She's still as fun loving as ever, but a little more cognizant of her responsibilities. And I thought that was really cool. I arguably feel that maybe the live show did backtrack on her character at least a little bit. I mean, she does sing like literally the same song, you know?
That
I
is
just
true.
want to have fun. But you do bring up a fair point that sometimes it takes time to adapt to a new mindset. And especially one thing to keep in mind, we haven't really brought this up yet, so now is a good time. A Rarity is a filly. She's not an adult. She's a child. And so there's definitely some more slack that I can give her than an adult character who would behave the same way, like G4 Pinkie Pie much.
Dude, don't don't get me started on G4 Pinky.
Are you a fan or no?
Well, I'll put it like this. This isn't gonna be in the video. I'm just saying. G4 Pinky was my
Yeah.
favorite character out of any media ever until I watched the later seasons. And then she became my least favorite character. So I'm kind of
Really?
mixed opinion on Pinky.
Oh, this is interesting. Actually, this is totally a tangent. We can cut this, but I wanna hear more because
Okay, so during that tangent, we talked about Pinky and G4 and its humor. So I'm going to take that back around and segue to the last point I'd like to make, and that's that Rarity is just a very funny character. She kind of exemplifies G3's subtle humor. A lot of her lines and even her catchphrases are just really entertaining to hear, and she's also just fun to do impressions of too.
in G3 the characters never like stop and look at the camera and wait for the laugh track to start playing, right? Like maybe metaphorically. They're just being themselves and that happens to be hilarious.
Yeah, they're just fun to watch. Like Zipsy always sneezing when she smells the flowers, but she keeps wanting to smell the flowers. Or Thistle's like, so send postcards. I'm staying here. Like the little like sass in her voice is so.
She is sassy, yes. My favorite one is when the two breezies look at each other, tra la la, tiddlywink, and they're like, "It's all settled. We'll stay here."
Yeah. Yes. That joke gets funnier on a rewatch because you realize like, oh, together it is their thing, but it's a bit of a subversion of that. It's subtle. Okay, but I feel like we're getting a little bit off track here. Okay, we got a lot off
Yes,
track, but I'll
sorry,
make
that's
sure I
my fault.
condense it.
Anything else that I need to bring up about Rarity? I love her.
I love her too.
That's it.
I love Rarity because she's a perfect example that having fun is just as important as doing your responsibilities. Life is a balance that way, just like Rarity.
Otherwise, you'll end up like Cheerily, giving up right before the final stretch.
Exactly. Exactly. So I guess the moral of the video is work is important, but take care of yourself
Yep, and have fun.
and have fun.
Let's do it again. We need Fortune to voice that.
We do. Oh my gosh. Dude, do you think I could get her to like to do it for the video?
I bet you could get Fortune to send a recording of her saying that, and you could totally put it in the video.
But yeah, so I guess that'll be it. Thank you so much for talking about Rarity with me, Peace Petal. And if there's anything else that you wanna plug for your own channel, then now's the time to do it. Go ahead.
That's it. Just remember to check out the Minty portion of this little character analysis. That'll be on my channel, and the Rarity one is here, of course.
So, with all that being said, I'm partly Pinky, and
That was fun. Let's do it again.